In this video tutorial, we learned how to subtract two rational numbers. In this problem, we have two rational numbers 407 and 503. You have to subtract 503 from 407. So the first step is find the LCM of denominators of both the rational numbers. In this case, we have 7 and 3. So the LCM of 7 and 3 is 21. The second step is to find the equivalent rational numbers of both 407 and 503 such that their denominator is equal to LCM. In this case, we have 21. So you have to find equivalent rational number of this 407 such that its denominator is 21. So what number should we multiply 7 with such that the denominator becomes 21? Clearly 7 times 3. Now since we have multiplied the denominator with 3, we have to multiply numerator also with 3. And therefore you get 12 or 21. Similarly here, this is 503. You have to find the equivalent rational number such that the denominator becomes 21. So since the denominator is 3, if we multiply this with 7, denominator becomes 21. So we have to multiply numerator also with 7. And that's the concept of equivalent rational number. So this gives you 35 or 21. Right? So 12 or 21 is the equivalent rational number of 407 such that the denominator is 21, and 35 or 21 is the equivalent rational number of 503 such that its denominator is 21. Okay, now you have to subtract these two. 12 over 21 minus 35 over 21. If you solve this, the denominator is same, so write it 21, and now simply subtract the numerators. So 12 minus 35. If you subtract 12 minus 35, if you do this, you get minus 23 or 21. So this is the answer. In this case, we have 7 over 10 minus, within the bracket, minus 3 over 15. So the numerator is negative. Or if it was 7 over 10 minus 3 over minus 15. What's the difference between these two problems? The only difference is here the negative sign is with 3, that is the numerator, but here the negative sign is with the denominator, which was not here. It's here with 15, that is the denominator. So the first thing is always to check whether your denominator is positive or not. If it is not positive, then make it positive. So in this case, this is 3 over minus 15. This is 3 over minus 15. And this can be written as minus 3 over 15 only. Same thing. How? Find the equivalent rational number and remove the negative sign from this one. So for that, you have to multiply 3 with minus 1. That is the numerator with minus 1 and the denominator with minus 1. So this gives you minus 3 or 15, right? Same thing. Okay, so if you are dealing with such problems where the denominator is negative, first make it positive using this step, and you have to show this step in your examination. Okay, now the first step then will be to find the LCM of 10 and 15. The LCM of 10 and 15 is 30. The LCM of 10 and 15 is 30. Now, the second step is to find the equivalent rational numbers of these two rational numbers such that the denominator becomes equal to LCM, that is 30 in this case. So find the equivalent rational number of this rational number such that its denominator becomes 30. So 10 times 3, right? If you multiply 3 with 10, the denominator becomes 30. So since we have multiplied the denominator with 3, you have to multiply the numerator also with 3. So this becomes 21 over 30. This 21 over 30 is the equivalent rational number of 7 over 10 having the denominator as 30. In this case, what number should we multiply 15 with such that the denominator becomes 30? Clearly with 2. Since we have multiplied the denominator with 2, you have to multiply numerator also with 2. And you get minus 6 over 30. This minus 6 over 30 is the equivalent rational number of minus 3 over 15 having the denominator 30. Now you have to subtract these two. So this is 21 over 30, then minus this minus here. This is minus 6, so keep within bracket, then 30. Now the denominators are same. That's the benefit of taking LCM. So this is 30. This becomes 21 minus this minus sign and within the bracket minus 6. Now, whenever outside the bracket you have minus sign and within the bracket you have minus sign, then minus, when fights with minus, it becomes plus. Okay, so this is 21 plus 6, 30, and this gives you 27 over 30. So this is the answer. In this case, minus 5 over 10 minus 11 over 8, or 5 over minus 10 minus 11 over 8. Clearly the difference is here negative sign was in the numerator, but here negative sign is with the denominator, right, in the denominator. Therefore, the first step is make it positive, and if you want to make it positive, you have to follow the same step that we did here. By multiplying 5 with minus 1 and minus 10 with minus 1, you get minus 5 over 10. So always check whether your denominator is positive or not. Anyways, so in this case, the first step is take LCM of 10 and 8. And LCM of 10 and 8 comes as 40. Okay. Now LCM of 10 and 8 is 40. So second step will be to find the equivalent rational numbers such that denominator becomes equal to LCM, and that is equal to 40. So find the equivalent rational number of this one. What number should we multiply the denominator, that is 10, with such that the denominator comes as 40? Clearly with 4. So you have to multiply the numerator also with 4, and this gives you minus 20 over 40. And here you have 8 in the denominator. So if you multiply it with 5, your denominator becomes 40. Since you have multiplied the denominator with 5, you have to multiply the numerator also with 5, and you get 55 over 40. So this is the equivalent rational number of this rational number having the denominator 40, and this is the equivalent rational number of 11 over 8 such that the denominator is 40. Now you have to subtract these two. So you have minus 20, 40 minus 55 over 40. If you solve this, you get 40. This is minus 20 and minus 55. This becomes, this is minus 20 minus 55, so you have to add and put minus sign, and this comes as 75 over 40. So this is 75 over 40. Now If you want, then you can actually simplify it. If you want, then you can actually simplify it by taking highest common factor and then simplifying it. I leave it for you because I hope you know the simplifying of a fraction or a rational number. Okay, so the thing is, even if you leave it like this, the answer will not be wrong. The only thing is that if you want to simplify it further by taking highest common factor and dividing both this numerator and denominator, you can do this. Here you have minus 10 over minus 2 and minus 12 over minus 3. Again, you have denominator as negative in both these two cases. So remember, we have discussed this in our earlier videos as well, that if your rational number is of the form minus p minus q, then this can be written as p over q only. And how? Simply multiply the numerator with minus 1 and denominator with minus 1, and this gives you p over q. What is p over q? The general form of the rational number. Okay, so this is p over q. Similarly here, if you multiply this minus 10 with minus 1 and minus 2 with minus 1, you get 10 over 2 only, right? So this is actually 10 over 2 minus 12 over 3. Now, the denominators are positive now. So first step is LCM. The LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. The second step will be to find equivalent rational numbers such that the denominator of them is equal to 6. That is the LCM. So find here. What number should we multiply 2 with? That is the denominator, so that the denominator comes as 6, clearly with 3. So you have to multiply numerator also with 3, and this gives you 30 over 6. So this 30 over 6 is the equivalent rational number of minus 10 over minus 2, having the denominator as 6. In this case, you have 12 over 3. So what number should we multiply 3 with such that the denominator becomes 6, clearly with 2? So you have to multiply 12 with 2 also, and you get 24 over 6. So this 24 over 6 is the equivalent rational number of this minus 12 over minus 3 such that the denominator is 6. Now you have to subtract these two. So if you subtract this, you have 30 over 6 minus 24 over 6. So you get 30 minus 24. This gives you 6 over 6. That is, it gives you 1. Okay. So this is the answer. If you simplify it, 6 over 6 means what? 6 over 6 means that it is 1. So this is the way to subtract two rational numbers.